So today's workshop is focused on statement of purpose writing, but I do have some other topics related to it. So we will not just directly start from statement of purpose because university applications is a broad topic, and I personally believe you need information about different aspects of it. Because not all universities just ask for statement of purpose, some of them ask for other types of essays. So we will touch base on a few other types as well, but our focus will be on a statement of purpose and how to write a compelling university application in general. So what we will cover today, hopefully we will briefly talk about researching universities, how we can write very good application essays, whether it's personal statements or motivation letters or statements of purpose. We will also talk about STAR method, which is very important and very useful for a university application essays. And in general, hopefully, this will help you to prepare strong applications for your university and universities of choice, and hopefully help you secure uh, the admissions and scholarships. Before we start, we will do an icebreaker activity. So I want everyone to write in the chat what their dream university is and why. So you can take a minute to think about it and then share your answer in the group. The main purpose of this activity, of course, first is to be an icebreaker for today's workshop, and then to help us understand your goals, and also to reflect on what you really value in a university, the reputation or the programs or the location or what. So I will give you a minute or two. In the chat, you can write what your dream university is and why. Um, Nilab says my ideal university is Emory University in Georgia because it has great education and a friendly place where students can learn and grow. Helen says my dream university is Berlin University of Applied Sciences and some other universities in Germany. And Helen, you didn't say why. Waiting for other responses. Sidra says my dream university is University of Alberta because it has a strong computer science program, good support for international students, and opportunity for research and innovation. I really like this response. Very good. Nilab says my dream university is Oxford University because it is one of the most prestigious, high ranking in the world. The most brilliant thing about this university is they raise uh, best liars in the whole world. Good. T says, Salam everyone. I can say my dream university is Oxford, and since it has one of the hardest exams, this is tempting for me, plus a huge fan of UK. Maybe you're someone who loves overcoming challenges. Okay, Yelda Yusufi says my dream university is UCL, UK, and a scholarship of shifting, which is through it I can achieve my master's degree in Master of Science. There it has good research in the medical field. Marcel Rashidi says my dream university is University of Toronto because it has great undergraduate program, especially in life sciences, the research and clinical experience that makes students completely prepared for medical school. Um, Shahira Sadat says my dream university is Technical University of Munich because of its strong reputation in AI and computer science, research opportunities, commitment to innovation, and multicultural environment. Marwa Azizi says, I plan to study in Germany because it offers high quality education, strong programs in international relations, and supportive environment for international students with low or no tuition fees. Yeah, definitely. Satara says, my dream university is University of Toronto. I want to study there because one of the top universities in Canada. Mushgan says, my dream college is George Brown. In Toronto, it has multicultural and diverse students to do their group studies and a good initiative for international students. Zahra says, my dream university is Technical University of Munich. Oh, so far we have two people from University of Toronto, like aspirants for University of Toronto, and two for TUM. Okay, so Technical University of Munich because of its world-class reputation in software engineering and innovation. Tamana says it was my dream to continue education in Toronto University in Canada because it has great healthcare programs and facilities. It provides for international students. Horia says my dream high-profile university is Harvard University in the USA. It's one of the most world's top universities, known for excellence in leadership, public policy, international development, and business. With my BBA degree, a master's at Harvard would help me. I'm actually um, amazed at the ambition of all of you. You have really great targets. My dream university is Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, because of its reputation in computer science. Okay, the universities are not crucial for the majors like Asia Studies, International Relations, Human Rights, and Gender Studies are essential to me. I strongly believe in my own ability to get my master's degree in one of these fields, but if you ask me, I prefer to study at AUCA, American University of Central Asia. This is a valid point as well, Fatima, because sometimes university might not be very, very important. What matters is maybe the course that you're studying. Okay. And then Marcel says, I want to pursue my master's degree at Leeds Beckett University because I believe it offers perfect blend of practical experience, social impact, and academic excellence in urban planning and design. Fahima Sharifi, my dream university is Stanford University, primarily because it has strong programs in business economics. It also has a friendly environment. However, since Afghans are currently banned from studying in the US, I'm unsure which universities I should consider in Europe or Asia. Husna says, my dream university is University of Toronto because of its research opportunities in neuroscience, proximity to best hospitals, and its reputation. Meheria Ayubi says, one of my top choice universities is Cornell University in the United States because it has the best civil engineering programs in the world and the focus of sustainability and solve real-world problems. Okay. Sunya Behzad, Harvard is the dream university because of its global reputation, leadership, focused education, and commitment to creative impact. This aligns perfectly with my goal to pursue an MBA and use it to drive social change, empower Afghan women, and contribute to rebuilding my country through strategic leadership and sustainable development. Muska Ahmad Zai says my dream university is a place where I can grow as a student and future leader, share my ideas and learn from peers, and where strong support from international students through the mentorship and culture programs is available. Also, strong academic support in the field of international relations. I don't fancy names. I actually like this response as well because you have your criteria for university, you have your checklist for university, and whatever university fits that checklist, you will go for it. So this is a very great mindset. So thank you everyone for sharing uh, your dream university and with all the very good reasons and really, really inspiring. As Ramir said, wrote, we hope all your dreams come true soon. Okay, so getting back to our presentation, why are university applications, especially the essays, important? First of all, because they showcase or show your unique story and perspective. And remember, whenever you're writing an application essay, one of your main like tasks is to showcase your unique story. Each person has a unique story of life, a unique story of what they like, what they have done. So that should be showcased in your applications. And also, university application essays usually help universities to understand you beyond the grades. Now, here I have a comment. Mostly, when I get essays from my students or from mentees, some of the essays focus too much on the academic excellence. Like they all talk about, oh, I was a first grader from first grade to 12th grade and things like that. They talk about all about the academic success. This is one thing you need to keep in mind that university is application essays are not just about your academic like achievements. Yes, of course, they are important. You should mention that you were a great student, you were a high scorer, or I don't know, first position holder. Very, very valid and important. But you should also talk about other aspects of you as a person. So One of the goals for the university application essays is for universities to understand you beyond your academic grades. And then we have different types of essays that serve different purposes. And in general, these application essays show your motivation, your goals, and whether you're a good fit for the program or not. So, as I said before, usually these essays should highlight qualities that you have which are beyond your academic record. So, you focus on your academic achievements, yes, but you should also talk about things which are beyond the academic record. Now, there are different types of essays that universities ask for. The two most common ones, or I would say the three most common ones, are personal statement, statement of purpose or SOP, and letter of motivation or LOM. So these three are very, very common. But in general, different universities ask for different things. So you should be able to like tailor accordingly and write. So some universities might call it letter of intent, which is pretty much a letter of motivation. Some of them might ask for a diversity statement. Some of them might ask for a research statement. Some of them might ask for a leadership statement. For example, Chevening Scholarship has four different types of essays. And some of them might ask for a community impact essay. Some of them might ask for professional experience essay, or a combination of all these. So some universities might even ask you for writing two, three different essays. But the most common ones are personal statement, statement of purpose, and letter of motivation. So what is personal statement? We will go over it very briefly. Personal statement, as you can see from the name, is personal statement. So it's more about you. So it's a broad essay. It's about who you are. It's about your experiences and your goals and aspirations. So personal statement is focused more on about you. Then on the other hand, we have statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is a bit similar to a personal statement, but here this one is more focused on the program. So it is the statement where you write the purpose or the main reason why you're pursuing a specific program. So this is focusing on academic background and your career goals. And usually it's required for graduate applications. So personal statement is focused more on you. Statement of purpose is focused more on the program. Then we have a motivation letter as well. Some universities, especially in Europe, they require motivation letters. And this letter is more like a formal letter that explains why you are the right fit for the program and what your motivation is for the program. The uh, structure is usually there is an introduction where you mention that program you're applying for. And you also explain and highlight any relevant experiences and skills, education, um, which makes you suitable for the program. And also you talk about the motivation, why you chose that specific program or university and why you want to study. And usually it ends with a conclusion where you end with an enthusiasm and you have like a call to action. For example, you say, I look forward to the opportunity to contribute to our academic community or and things like that. So, as I said before, these essays are similar in some way, but they are also different in some way. So, whenever you're writing for a university of your choice, pay attention to what they are asking for. Sometimes they also give you a rubric or criteria for that. So, you should follow that as well. Uh, and so, as I said before, statement of purpose, letter of motivation, and personal statement, these are the three most common ones. Now that you have a general idea of the different types of the essays, let's slowly move to the like general essay prompts that are used for different type of university applications. Sometimes they don't name things; they just ask you a question. For example, they ask you, "Why do you want to study?" and they give you space. For example, you have to write 150 words and explain this. Or sometimes they want to see which kind of problem solver you are or how you overcome challenges. So they ask you to describe a challenge that you overcame and describe it in examples. And sometimes they might ask you what your academic and career goals are. So, as I said before, whatever you are learning from today's workshop and other workshops in the future, of course, they are very, very important. But whenever you're applying for any university, pay attention. Each university has unique requirements. So pay attention to what questions they have in their application and what they require you to do. Now, what are the key elements for an application essay? So the first part is it should be a personal story. It should be authentic. It should be true to yourself. You shouldn't copy like stories of other people or create something like that. No, try to be authentic. Try to create your own story. And actually, the university application essays are actually like a type of storytelling. So you're basically telling a story to impress the university admissions committee or the scholarship selection committee, so they invest in you. So you have to be a very good storyteller and you have to be authentic and true to yourself. And the next thing which is important is your essay should have a very clear structure. It should be easy to follow. It shouldn't be confusing. And the third element is it should uh, talk about the connection to the program. It should show how this program aligns with your goals, how this program helps you to achieve your goals. And then once you get the program, what will you do with that support? Like how will you like impact? How will that impact your life? How will that impact the life of like the community that you are in, or the things that you will be doing for your community. So it's very important to focus on your personal story, give your essays a clear structure, and also talk about the connection to the program. And a bit more focus on your personal story. So whenever you're talking about your personal story in your application essays, you should identify important pivotal moments in your life, the challenges, the achievements, and the passion that you have. And this can be a bit tricky because sometimes I see that in some essays, uh, the students talk about challenges and problems and things like that, but sometimes they talk about it in a very, very victim mindset. And remember, this is not helpful. If you're trying to portray in the essay like a victim mindset, like you talk about, of course, you situation in Afghanistan is really bad. The situation of the Afghan girls is really bad. That's a fact. But whenever you're writing your story, try to write the story more as a challenge that you have, uh, or challenges that you have overcame, and if you receive support, how much you will overcome, or what else you will overcome, or what you will achieve on that. So focus on challenges, achievements, and passions. But remember, don't write your essays with a very victim mindset. This is something that will not be very helpful, and it doesn't impress the selection committee or the admissions committee. And another element is you should think about your why, reflect on your why whenever you're writing the essays. Why do you want to study abroad? And what do you want to study? And how has your background shaped your goals and aspirations? So this is something that you should really uh, um, pay attention to and consider whenever you're crafting your personal narrative, or whenever you're crafting your personal story in statements of purpose or application essays. The next one is the general structure, and I'm sure most of you have English, you have done English courses and you know the structure of an essay, so I'm not going to focus too much on this part, but in general, just to review for you, uh, your application essays should have an introduction, which should be a hook for the reader. With a compelling story or fact which grabs the attention of the reader. Remember, this is important because the admissions committee or the selection committee usually they read hundreds of essays for our scholarship or for a university program. usually mentally their brain is already tired because they're reading a lot of essays, and some of them might say repetitive things or things that are common in all of the essays. So actually, your job is to make the selection committee's job easier. How you can make that easier to be unique, to have a hook, to hook the reader with a compelling story or fact, so they keep reading your story. Like it should be something that they follow and that they finish your essay and read it until the end. So this is very important. And then the body of the essay is where you should highlight any key experiences, skills, and goals, which are, of course, related to the program you're studying and the university and your career in general. And in conclusion, you just repeat in a different way, repeat your passion and vision, and maybe you include a call to action. Before I move to the next part, do you have any questions so far? Okay, we will also have time for questions at the end. Now let's go a bit deeper on writing a winning personal statement. Um, so, uh, what is the purpose of a personal statement? The personal statement, the goal is to showcase who you are and why you want this program and how you will contribute. And as I said, the structure should mainly have the introduction, body, and conclusion. In the introduction, you should hook the reader. You should talk about why you're passionate about this field. In the body, you highlight any relevant academic achievements, experiences like internship, volunteer work, a community impact that you have done. And then you connect your goals to the program and what the program offers. And then you usually end with a future aspiration and how the program is like a next step for your career and for your goals. Some things to pay attention and avoid is first one, don't use very common cliche phrases and sentences in your essays. Like, for example, don't say, I have always been passionate about, I don't know, for example, computer science and things like that. Don't say very generic and cliche sentences because first of all, they are very boring for the selection committee because they keep reading and receiving sentences like that. And secondly, they're not very specific, so it doesn't help. So don't be too vague, don't be too general. Don't say, for example, I want to get a master's degree in computer science and change the future of technology in Afghanistan. Okay, good. But how do you want to change the future of technology in Afghanistan? So if you just say, oh, well, you want to make a big impact in the technology or computer science field in Afghanistan. Yeah, I appreciate that. I admire that. But how do you do that? So you have to provide specific examples and be more specific about it. Now, that was about the content. Now, in terms of the structure, what you should do, the first thing is like in order to make your like statements of purpose or essays more clear and give them the flow for the reader, use transitions to connect your ideas very smoothly. So you can do your own research on transition signals in English. They're phrases that create coherence and cohesion in writing, phrases like first of all, second of all, in addition, and things like that. So these are crucial. Try to use them in your essays in a very good way. And then avoid jargon and technical vocabulary and unnecessary complexity. Uh, One thing that sometimes when people apply for universities, they think that if they use very technical words, they will impress the selection committee, but that's not true. It can actually damage your chance of getting the scholarship. Your essays should be written in a very clear and understandable way. You shouldn't use too much jargon or technical words. Don't use abbreviations. If you use abbreviations, write the full form of the abbreviations as well. And don't add unnecessary complexity in your essays. Now, you might ask me why. It's because, let's say, for example, you apply for a Shivning scholarship. So the selection committee, of course, they might have a, let's say, a background in natural sciences, and he's the person who is reviewing your essays, but not necessarily, for example, if you're applying for a medical field, and the selection committee is reading your essay. Of course, not everyone on the selection committee has a medical background. So if you're using too much technical jargon, that can be problematic. So try to keep them like, of course, use very formal English words, use a very good level of English. That's a different story. But don't use very technical jargon. Don't use like very like complex words which are related to your industry. I think somebody has not muted themselves.
기분의 알것. نمیدم نفرت نمیدم.
Let me see who this is. Okay, I think we are good now. Another point is try to stick to the word count or character limit. I know this is something challenging, especially we always have so much to say and we want to express it in a longer way possible, but stick to the word count. If it says 900 words, write 895. Stick to the word limit. It's very, very important. Whenever you're writing your essay for the first time, if the word limit is, for example, 900 words, it's okay if you first time write 1000 words or 1100 words. That's totally fine. Your first draft, if it's over the limit, that's totally fine. That's what I always used to do as well. But once you complete your essay or your statement of purpose, then go and read it again and revise it and refine it and improve the sentences, remove some sentences, and try to shrink the word count and bring it down to the limit that they say. So if you can aim for a higher word count at the beginning, but then after your first draft is completed, for the second and third draft, when you review it, try to bring down the word count. So whenever you're drafting your statements of purpose or application essays, in the drafting phase, you have to focus on ideas, not on perfection. Just put down the ideas, whatever that's related to the program, whatever that is related to the field that you're studying. Just put down your ideas. Write, draft. Even if the word count is 900, it's okay. Write 1,200 words. That's totally fine. The first draft, the idea is not perfection. The idea is just to organize and gather your ideas. And then you revise that. You check for clarity. You check whether it's concise and related enough, and whether it has coherence or not. So coherence basically means that the topic should have connection. All the paragraphs should be connected in content with each other. So in the drafting phase, just focus on bringing, like putting down your ideas. And then you can, of course, perfect it later. You can edit it, you can improve the clarity and everything else. Common mistakes again to avoid is first, don't use very cliche sentences and phrases. And also typos and grammatical errors are very, very common. Um, Even me, I make typos when I'm writing, even though I have been like an English teacher and like coach for like almost 9 to 10 years, I make mistakes. Usually when you write your first draft, it's a bit hard to like notice your own mistakes on that day. So what I usually do is I complete the draft and like let it sit for a few hours or a day or two, and then I take it back again. After 1 or 2 days, I read it again, and then I can notice a lot of like mistakes and errors. So yeah, that's something that can help. So that's about the writing and editing strategy. Now let's talk about understanding your skills. So of course, whenever you're writing like essays, it's not just about completing the word count or writing what they are asking for. It's also about asking, understanding your own skills. If you don't understand your own skills, you will not be able to write a good essay. You will not be able to write a good university application. And this is important. Understanding your skills is very important because, as I said before, the universities want to know your skills, your experiences, and you as a person, like as a whole. universities don't just want to know whether, for example, Mahmoud has good university grades or not. No, they want to know how Mahmoud is as a person, like overall, his social skills, his academic skills, his interests, his hobbies, his experiences, and the potential he or she has. So that's what the universities focus. So what you should do for understanding your skills is I will not do this activity because of the time constraints, but I will explain it for you. So write down five strengths, five qualities that you have. It can be things about your leadership, your communication, your creativity, and teamwork and adaptability. And then in those areas, identify two areas where you want to grow, and these are areas that you need improvement. It can be, for example, public speaking or research. And then after that, you reflect on how these strengths that you have make you a good fit for the program. So basically, this is actually an exercise that you can do every time when you apply to a university. It's very, very useful. You will have access to the PDF of the presentation, so you will have the details. But yeah, feel free to maybe take a screenshot or write notes to keep it. Another part of your application essay is your own personal brand. So now I'm a bit going a bit deeper in the personal story section because very, very important. And most of the time, people get it wrong, especially students and mentees from Afghanistan. Uh, so what is a personal brand? A personal brand is how you present yourself to the world. It's a unique combination of your skills, your experiences, and your goals. So as I said before, it's like you have to showcase yourself like as a complete package of the human you are, not just the academic aspect. And why it's important? Because universities want to know uh, the applicants on a deeper level, and they want to know their purpose, and they want to know if they have a clear vision or not, or they just want to do a master's degree without a vision or a bachelor's degree. So you have to write your statements or sentences very, very carefully. And here's a tiny bit of formula you can use. Whenever you're writing your story, try to use sentences like this, which includes your strengths and your impact or goals. So, for example, you can say I am, then write your strengths, and then who, your goals and impact. Uh, for example, you can say, I'm a passionate environmentalist. So you write your strengths, who aims to promote sustainable solutions in my community. So this is a very impactful statement because it combines one of your strengths and a community impact. So this is a very useful style in university application essays. It can really help you. Or for example, you can say, I am an aspiring data scientist dedicated to using technology to solve real world problems. Things like that. So it's very important to showcase your unique story in this way. Now it's your turn. I will give you a minute to write a sentence like this. Draft your personal brand statement. It should include your strengths and community impact or goal that you have. And you can share it in the chat. Okay, I'm still waiting for your personal brand statements in the chat box. Yes, Neelav, you can write your question in the chat. Or if you want to ask your question at the end of the session, You will have time to unmute yourself and ask your question. But if you want to ask it now, you can write it in the chat. Okay. So, Zohal Ahmadi says, I'm a dedicated and hardworking public health student who aims to promote high quality health services in my community and in a global context. So this is, you see, these are very useful sentences. They are very good for your introduction paragraph of your essays. So yeah, very good. Um, Sadra says, I'm a passionate learner and aspiring software developer dedicated to using technology to create positive social change. Very good. Very good sentence. And don't forget, whenever you're using these sentences in your essays, you should explain them more in the following sentences and paragraphs. Elaborate more on that, become more specific, and give examples and details, so that way you really explain it in details. For example, you're using technology to create positive social change, so in the next sentence, become more specific. What social change do you want? For example, let's say you're in one of the, let's say, for example, you're in Mazar and you want to make a social impact, social change with technology. So how do you do that? So become more specific. Give a brief example of that. Nilab says, I'm an observed liar who devoted her energy to and defend discover and defense of real fair. Okay. Maybe you need to work more on the wording on the sentence a little bit to make it a bit more understandable because it's a bit vague. Okay, Zahra says, I'm a passionate aspiring software engineer. I'm a passionate and aspiring software engineer who aims to change the world by creating impactful and meaningful solutions through technology. Very good. That's a very good sentence. What you really need to do is to become more specific in the following sentences whenever you will be writing your personal statements and try to maybe narrow it down, maybe not the world, but more focus on, for example, community. So try to make it a bit smaller and more realistic, but overall the sentence is good. Marwa Azizi says, I'm a driven and curious learner determined to make a global impact, which is why I plan to study international relations. Very good. So now, how will you do that global impact? You should explain it in the following sentences in your essay. Nilab says, I want to be a microbiologist who not only understands the visible world of microbes, but also uses that knowledge to solve real world healthcare challenges. This is a very impactful sentence. I really like it. Next. And remember, whenever you're writing these brand statements, don't make them too small or too easy. Also, don't make them too heroic. Of course, you have to have big aspirations, but they at the same time they have to be very realistic as well. Okay, the next one. Sonia says, I'm a committed social worker who aims to enable sustainable education system for girls in my country through online programs. I like this one as well because it's very, very realistic and very specific. Horia says, I'm a motivated and goal-oriented business graduate who aims to use my knowledge and leadership skills to support sustainable development and empower communities, especially women in Afghanistan. So you see, this is a very good statement as well because it's very specific. It talks about, like, it's not very generic. It's not very generic. Like, she doesn't want to, for example, conquer another planet. No, she just wants to make, for example, impact in a specific area, which is, for example, sustainable development. Why? Because she's a business graduate and things like that. So very relevant, very good. Mehriya says, I'm interested in construction and design, and I love finding smart solutions to real problems. I want to use my skills to improve people's lives. Very good. Mushgan says, I'm a diligent psychology student. psychology student who wants to promote the moral and mental health of human beings while enduring tough times and challenging circumstances. Tamana says, I'm a passionate and aspiring healthcare student who wants to help individuals in my community and break limitations in this field. Very good. Fatima says, in my personal skills, I am a person with critical thinking and creativity. Besides, I worked in society and I am able for problem solving and effective communication. Moreover, time is crucial to me, so I'm a punctual person who can manage time and well and efficiently. Teamwork and leadership or others skills are okay with higher self-awareness and confidence. They are not related to my professional skills like researching skills, writing, and photography. This sentence is a bit generic, Fatima. So you want to make it more specific, like the other examples we had before from other mentees. I'm a motivational speaker and learner who loves to become successful in business and becomes a voice for those who left behind. So yeah, this is a good one as well. Possibly maybe it would be useful to make it more specific. Khatar says, I'm a passionate student looking for opportunities to grow my skills and solving social problems through entrepreneurship. This is a very specific and to the point sentence brand statement as well. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. One last one. My goal is to be change maker to improve healthcare of Afghanistan, especially in vulnerable communities for mothers and newborn children. Very specific. Very good. I liked. Thank you so much. So very good. I hope that exercise was useful. You can do more of that with yourself to improve and get ready for your university applications. Moving on a little bit to university programs. Sometimes it's also a struggle for students or mentees. They cannot find the right universities or programs. So what you should consider when you're doing this. The first thing is research is important. Don't just select a university because your cousin said something about it or someone is studying and they are having a good time and they're very happy. Yes, so that could be a good sign as well. But are you sure that university aligns with your goals as well? So you should do your own research as well because research helps you find the right program that aligns with your goals. It also shows the university that you are genuinely interested in their program. So whenever you're doing a research for university, what you should do? The first thing is you should research the program and courses. Does the university offer the exact program that you want? Is the location of the university good? How is the cost of living? How is the culture? How is the student support service? For example, if you are someone who is very, very social, who loves crowds and gatherings and socializing so much, for example, you shouldn't select a university which is in a very small town because that could be problematic for you. So these things are important. Consider all these aspects whenever it comes to selecting a program on university. Scholarships, especially in your case, it's very, very important. Try to research the scholarships. Afghan girls are very resilient and you are amazing people. You have a lot of capacity. I have no doubt that you will get admissions from universities. But the problem is, you should also aim for universities that are offering scholarships. Because especially in your situation in Afghanistan, financial aid is important. So you should look for programs and universities that offer financial aid and scholarships. And also, in addition to that, you should also do research about the extracurricular activities in universities. Does the university, for example, have different clubs that you can join? Do they have internships? Do they have volunteer opportunities or not? What you can use for doing research, you can use, of course, university websites, which is the best source. And also you can use LinkedIn, especially for alumni insights. You can find alumni or past graduates of a specific program or university on LinkedIn, and you can learn more about the program and the university. I think throughout your mentorship program, we will have a session about online presence, and we will also talk about LinkedIn profile and things like that. But for now, use LinkedIn also for getting alumni insights, sometimes student forums, or sometimes you can even use Reddit to research about the university or the program. Okay, lots of topics so far today. Let's move to the next important aspect, which is using the STAR method for application success. So STAR method is very, very useful. It's not just for university applications, it's for job interviews, it's for any type of other academic or professional situations. STAR method focuses on situation, task, action, and result. So the problem is that, as I said before, application writing or essay writing is storytelling. The problem is sometimes people say stories in a very different way. You're not saying that you're not telling a story to produce a movie whenever you're writing an essay. You're telling a story to impress the admission program staff and to impress the selection committee and to convince them that you're a good fit and they will select you. So this is your goal. So how you can do that, you should use the STAR method. So what you should do, um, you should use this unique like a style, which is you talk about the situation first, then you explain the task, the activity that you had or you did, and then what was you talk about the task that you had to do or the activity you had to do, and then talk about the action that you needed to carry out to solve the problem, and then what was the result of it, what was the outcome or the impact. And it's actually a behavioral, like a technique which is used for answering behavioral questions. And it's helpful in describing specific situations, tasks, action, and results. And why it's useful? Because it helps give a structure to your responses. It makes them very clear and it demonstrates the skills very effectively. For example, whenever you're writing like a statement of purpose for a computer science, for example, for a university, and you try to talk about the past experiences or achievements. So what you can do is, for example, let's say you had a like technology initiative in your university or in your school. So you have to explain that using STAR method. You should talk about what the situation was, what you had to do, which is the task, and then what action you took, what you did, and then what was the result or the impact. And if you explain it with this style, it will definitely be a more impactful explanation, and it will definitely impress or convince the reader. So it's very useful to use this. Especially this one is especially important whenever you're writing the body of the statement of purpose. You can use it in the introduction as well, of course, but specifically this method is relevant to the body. So, as I said before, it's very important to use this because it gives a clear structure for your essay or your response. It demonstrates that you're suitable for the program. It makes the response highly relevant. It talks about the relevant experiences, and it allows you to express your growth and achievement in a very structured way. Um, Here we have like examples of it. For example, what was the situation? So set the stage for your answer and provide context. For example, you say, our school had a low participation rate in extracurricular activities. So what was the task? What needed to be done? What goal did you have to achieve? I was tasked with increasing the event participation. So now what did you do? Describe the action, describe the steps you took to address the situation, and highlight the skills and the initiative you took. So for example, you can say, I surveyed students to understand their interests and promoted events on social media. Now, talk about the result, discuss the outcome of your actions and be specific and possible and include like numbers and measurable results. For example, you can say event participation increased by 50% and we received positive feedback. Now, it's important because sometimes I receive applications that students say like, I want to change Afghanistan. Okay, you want to change Afghanistan. How do you want to change Afghanistan? So like things should be explained, and especially for things like that, you have to use the STAR method. You cannot, of course, you can change Afghanistan, you can contribute to the change of Afghanistan, but that's like a very, very general and vague claim. It's very general. It's not specific, it's not realistic. You can say, I want to contribute to positive change in Afghan society. Yes, very good. Okay, what do you want to do? For example, you want to create a technology solution that helps, let's say, rural women and things like that. So try to be more specific. Try to like give more examples and especially use the STAR method. Another example to help you understand this better. For example, you can say in our final year of so this is specifically about a question which says describe a time you worked in a team to achieve a goal. So this is an example of a STAR method. You can say in our final year of high school, our team was assigned a group project to raise awareness about climate change. So what was the task? My role was to manage team's social media presence and ensure that our project reached a broader audience. So what you did, what was the action? I created a content calendar, engaged with followers on various platforms, and collaborated with influencers to spread the message. Now, what was the result? Our project went viral with a 30% increase in engagement and over 200 shares. We received recognition from local environmental organizations. So this is another example of using STAR method. Okay. Uh, so now some common mistakes to avoid. Uh, the first one is lack of details. Uh, Avoid using very vague or general responses. Provide specific examples, as I said before. Uh, you should be able to connect the result to the task. They have to be related. Explain how your actions led to the outcome or the impact. So that's very, very important. And don't overuse the STAR method. Don't use it in all your essay, in all the paragraphs. Just use it very strategically for the most important examples, not for everything. So don't overuse it. Okay, now we will do an activity again um, using the STAR method. And with that activity, it will be the end of the presentation, and then we will do a question and answer session. So, and I want you to keep it a bit short because of the time constraints. Uh, Tell us about a time you overcame a challenge, or tell us about a time you solved a problem, or tell us about a time you showed leadership initiative. So you can choose any of these three. You can choose any of these three. Just choose one. Just choose one of these, and then write about it. So choose number one, number two, or number three. Take 1 to 2 minutes to write down your starter response. Focus on situation where you demonstrated these skills. And then you can share your response in the chat, and we all will see it and we will read it. Okay, so I'm giving you a few minutes to do this, and yeah, I will be waiting for your responses in the chat. Remember, you don't need to write for all these three. Just choose one, pick one, and use the STAR method for one of them. So this is from Tamana. In August 2021, my life changed dramatically as Taliban banned education for girls in Afghanistan. Despite these challenges, I remained determined to my dreams. I started studying for university exams and also launched an educational program for girls in my hometown. Okay, so good, but you're missing the R, which is the result. So when you started that program, or when you studied for your university exams, or when you launched the educational program, what was the result? Marwa Azizi, I was in charge of a journal writing project about my school's history. As a group, we researched the school's past and highlighted outstanding students. However, we struggled to find reliable resources and volunteers. This is good, but you're missing the task section. What was your task? You directly start with the action, which is you started research, but what was your task? So the task section is missing. Okay, to overcome this, I launched a campaign and personally interviewed students to make the project feel meaningful and relevant to them by showing them that their stories mattered. I was able to build a strong team, gather valuable content, and complete the project successfully. It's a good one, yeah. It's very, very good. Sunia Behzad. In our first semester assignment, we had to exhibit a business idea. In this assignment, we had team members from different backgrounds, and communication was the main issue. It's a very good start. I like this one. So far, I was the team leader to make sure everyone is heard. I made a strategy, which was one meeting in a week and create WhatsApp groups for frequent discussions. At the end of the day, almost everyone was involved on the idea which we had selected. That's good, but your result section is a bit weak. You need to maybe explain more what was the result of all the actions you did. So now I'm all done with my presentation. I'll just explain the assignment and then we can go for the questions. So you do have a writing exercise. You should write a statement of purpose or motivation letter for one of the programs of your choice. Share your work with your fellow mentees and receive feedback from your fellow mentees. And then revise and edit your essay. And then once you have your final version, you can share it with your mentor. So maybe in coming weeks, the APT team will be in contact with you. They will know more about it, but you will be matched with a mentor. So your assignment for now is to draft a statement of purpose, get the feedback of your fellow mentees and peers, and then work on your essay again, and then prepare the final version for your mentor feedback. And don't forget to consider everything that we discussed today. Yeah, you will have the slides so you can read them again, go over them again, and use all the skills and things that we discussed today for that. So yes, so far that was the presentation. Thank you for your active participation.